this is. These two train engines coming head to head, symbolizing the finishing and the completion of that railroad from coast to coast, which, like you said, really limited the traveler time from 6 months to just 1 week. I don't know how that would compute in today's technology, but it's like almost,
And here are the immigrants when they were working on that, and it was the first project of its kind, and I just love that so many of the descendants of those people who made this monumental event happen are here today. I hope they are feeling our love and our appreciation. I hope the engineers and all the floral designers and all the volunteers that put this one together know that sometimes things work out differently, but we appreciate your work and good effort by the entire Rose Parade team getting this back on track so you could see it in all of its glory. It is quite spectacular.
That big, large hammer that you see there and the spike on the other side is a representation of the final spike that was put in, the final railroad tie that was put in to complete that process. And it really was something that brought this country together from coast to coast and allowed people to really begin to explore this great nation of ours.
Like we said, from sea to shining sea. And this one, as with all of the float entries, the rules are every square inch of the float have to be covered with natural material, florals, any kind of botanicals, dried materials. I mean, if you're a designer and you want to use dead roses, you can, but they have to be all natural materials. And it takes about 30 roses per square foot, maybe 20 daisies to cover a square foot. So somebody did some calculations somewhere along the line and said that translates to roughly 18 million flowers that you see.
And it's quite interesting because a lot of the growers are contracted ahead of time to say, listen, we need this type of rose, this type of carnation, this color, and they will begin to grow those, and then they are cut and transported in. Some are flown in from around the world, and they are brought into Los Angeles, and they will go through a typical process of what happens, which is customs. And once they clear customs, then they are taken to the individual float barns. But it is all done on such a timely manner.
Right.
Because you can, the flowers only live for so long, so they have to be cut and transported. There can't be any weather delays or anything like that that can cause these to begin to wilt and start to fall.
Floriculture is a huge industry here in Southern California. We do have more floats ahead. When this one is able to move forward, we do have at least 2 more floats coming your way that we really want to tell you about. Please don't leave us here on KTLA. We're going to stay, as we said. These people camped out for days. The least we could do is camp out with you until this parade completely reaches its final moment. And that is when every marcher, every float, every band, every horse.
There's the other floats. Those people work just as hard on those floats, and we hope to bring those to you. I'm getting a sense by looking at the pictures that we are seeing with you now. Some people had made the assumption, maybe thought the parade had come to an end because of this breakdown that had happened. But I think sooner or later they'll begin to move this one out of the way, and maybe the parade will continue down, because I believe there's a band that yet has to play as well. So
now, it's interesting what happens. Remember, the parade route is 5.5 miles and takes about 2.5 hours or so. And so Chaka Khan and some of the people, President Freeney that you saw earlier, they're now getting to the end of the parade route. And it's a very different experience than coming down Colorado Boulevard with the grandstands and the throngs of people yelling your name. That's where you really get to see this community come together. You see people who've been camped out. You see their children. They wait to take a picture. This has been on many people's bucket lists for a long time.